Well, hello everybody. Here we go yet again for another Tuesday of channel audits from your host. With the very least, it is Rob Wilson. Welcome everybody to vidIQ. I am back from my travels, and let me just say, first of all, to anybody watching this live stream who also said hello at VidSummit, I salute all of you. What a humbling experience it was to shake the hands of so many creators who let us know how much we do for the community. And it just filled me with pride that everybody here at vidIQ is doing the work of good people to help you as creators grow your channels. And that is what we will continue to do every single Tuesday at this time or around about this time. I am today your human coach. We have new t-shirts, and I can only mean one thing if we are now live. Quick adjustment in my background. There we are. We're live, and we're live for the next couple of hours. But as always, I could not do this humble task without my awesome coasting co-host who did an exceptional job covering me last week, along with Alexi, who was also there last week in his new studio. Wow, Alexi looked damn hot, but even hotter and even more cool is this man to my right. Dan, welcome to the live stream. Thank you once again for covering me for the last couple of weeks. Yeah, just give us a little rundown on the transformation in Alexi as an auditor. His once a year appearance. New studio. Jury's still out as if it's a real space or a green screen. And Alexi had a lot of fun telling everybody, hey, watch previous bits of the stream. We already talked about that. And then moving on to the next channel. And it was great. We got to a lot of channels last week. I'm still tired from it.
Wow, okay, well, continue to let Dan recover. And hey, folks, share your love and appreciation for Alexi in the chat with either the regular boring emojis that YouTube gives you or the fantastic emotes that we have available if you are a vidIQ member. Let me run down very quickly what we do here in this creator-obsessed YouTube education live stream. You will be submitting your channels that allows us to critique, offer advice, wisdom, knowledge, experience, and that crucial bit of motivation to hopefully take your channel from where you are today to something more magnificent tomorrow with your audience. And we will do that through an educational video that lasts just, I think, 38 seconds of your time. No, 48 seconds of your time. This is how the next couple of hours are going to work. Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be put in timeout. If you need a channel audit right now, make sure to check out the vidIQ Coach AI tool that will help you with strategies, ideas, titles, scripts. Link in the description. It's a game changer. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started. I need to refilm that bit because those glasses are old, but I still like that old studio. How can I mix the two? I'm gonna have to somehow figure that out. Bit of housekeeping before we get into these channel audits. We welcome and are open to super chats. And what they will allow you to do is get a bit of airtime on vidIQ to ask your question. But what we encourage you to do is ask your question sooner rather than later, because it gets a bit hectic towards the end of a live stream. And try not to ask a question that's very specific to your channel that we're going to really struggle to answer without context, because we won't visit your channel while answering a question. We will just try to tackle the question as is seen in the super chat. And you may have seen in the description that we have a few house rules. Unfortunately, some channels, whilst acceptable on YouTube, may not be acceptable for our broad, universal audience. And if it's like too political, too extreme, too sexual in nature, too violent, then we may just say, I'm sorry, we can't cover this channel on the audits because it may be inappropriate for our audience. But with all that said, Dan, are you ready to jump into some channel audits?
Yeah.
All right, then. Then we shall audit the first channel that submitted in the description form, the non-gaming channel, and they call themselves Anination. They have just 11 subscribers, just 14 videos. Dan, first impressions on what looks to be an animation channel that we're looking at here.
Yeah. First impressions, animation channel, which is good. If people see the name, they click on it, it kind of sets expectations, which is nice.
Kind of cute name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good play on words.
Yeah. And I think what I guess what would help is if I knew how they were as an animator. Like, how animated are these animations? Did we watch any?
Do you want me to click on one? Do you have a preference? They're all fairly short.
Maybe the latest one.
Okay, let's click on this one.
First, we have to get Book and Foldy and Gady and Golf Ball and Ice Cube and Lollipop and Taco and Teardrop and Tennis Ball back, right? For
get into your games, people.
So
Lions, you lost last time, so you.
So that was very quick and a bit for me.
yes, because that's why I wanted to click on one. With animation, a lot of it's going to have to do with the story, right? Like. Yeah. We're going to talk about titles and thumbnails until we're blue in the face today, but I wanted to just start by jumping into one of these because the first thing I noticed is that I have no idea what's going on. And I imagine as any new viewer who clicks on that is going to feel the same way. It sounds like a video picked up in the middle, but that was the beginning of the video. So with, everyone's emphasis on storytelling lately, it's really, really important that you remember new people who click on your videos need to have as much context as the people who are already following the series. However you decide to do that is up to you. You can do a recap. You could, let's say you're making this in parts, maybe you can put the parts together after you have them all complete. I mean, imagine that you have, instead of a 15-second animation, you have a 15-minute animation. It took you longer to make that. Maybe it took you a month to get it done, but it's a complete story, and that I think would go farther. You'll get more watch time on that. People will see it. YouTube will sense that they're enjoying it. It'll spread more. But right now, if people click off of that early because it feels like it picks up in the middle and they don't even stay the whole 15 seconds, that's a pretty good indicator to YouTube that it's not really satisfying the viewer and they might click off. So that's going to be my first bit of advice.
I want to describe this channel as a welcome to YouTube channel. And what I mean by that is they're just playing about on YouTube, figuring out stuff. I don't think the content is necessarily designed for an audience just yet, because you say, Dan, the videos felt a little bit impenetrable. The storytelling isn't quite there yet. When I look at the titles, I don't feel as if they're really creating curiosity right now. And I would venture to say that the thumbnails may be just freeze frames from the videos themselves. I can't tell if they're custom thumbnails. Now, all of this sounds like criticism, but it's not in one sense, because I think all creators have a 6-month, 50 to 100 video grace period where it doesn't really matter the type about building an audience and like very specific skill sets. Right now, you just want to know if you enjoy making YouTube videos, because if you get really good at it and you build an audience, then you've got to love doing it for a year, 3 years, 5 years, and so on. So I just want to encourage this creator to continue to upskill their animation. There are some very small green shoots. Some of these videos are getting dozens of views. I think the last video, your first video got 600 views. And for some animation channels, that can be a real struggle. The most recent one has got nearly 50 views. So you're starting to build somewhat of a following. One thing I may suggest is, if you want to try and find a bit more viewer traction, is a lot of these videos are very short. You could experiment with YouTube Shorts as well. I don't think there's any reason why you can't post these, repurpose these as shorts. I think the general advice here, Dan, is we know you're an animation channel. You're probably going to be appealing to a younger audience eventually. Just keep making better animation content until you have maybe a couple more viral moments like these first 2 videos that had hundreds of views. Like, could you do a more chilling with my boys series? Because those 2 videos worked really well, and then you moved on to other stuff.
Yeah.
I will take Dan's silence that he agrees. So what we'll do is move on to the next channel, and this was the first gaming channel that submitted this week, and they go by the name of Gloowish Craft. And this may be a first, Dan, in the sense that it's a Minecraft channel, but a 2D Minecraft channel. I never even knew 2D Minecraft existed. Give us a 10-second elevator pitch on what Minecraft 2D is, and then jump into the channel.
I've never seen a true Minecraft 2D game. I've seen people mock up Minecraft as a 2D game. I've seen it where like people change the camera perspective and can like get a 2D effect, but I've never seen someone make a full-blown game. It looks like, based on the titles and thumbnails I'm seeing, they made this or they found it, one or the other, and they are trying to get people to play it. They are playing it. I would warn the creator of this game, just real quick, to have a quick aside here. Minecraft recently released an updated EULA, end user license agreement, and they are starting to get more and more protective about their name and their brand. And so if you were the one who made this game, whoever that person is, I would suggest changing the name and talking about it as like, hey, you know what would Minecraft be like if it was 2D? Well, this is blocky 2D. It's, you know, I strove to answer that question with this game. You know, you don't want to have this get popular and then have Microsoft coming after you because you're using someone else's IP. That just a quick aside. That said, this is an interesting concept. What if you then took this and you grabbed ideas from other Minecraft channels and other gaming channels, and you tried to do some of those more interesting concepts in 2D Minecraft? For example, I spent 100 days in 2D Minecraft, or surviving 100 days in 2D Minecraft.
There's one here, 20 days, not quite 100 days, but 20 days.
Yeah, so people have already attempted this, and look how many views. Look at that, 27,000 views for 1.6K subscribers.
That is interesting.
That is a really, really good sign, and that's the thing, right? You get the best of both worlds. You get a lot of views on that because you're showing something unique. Not a lot of people may have seen 2D Minecraft before, and you're taking a different approach to it. You're not just saying, look how cool 2D Minecraft is. You're playing it like it's a serious game that's been around forever. You're like, yeah, I spent 100 days in this game. You know, people get the concept immediately. You don't have to explain what 2D Minecraft is. They'll understand based on the title and the thumbnail. So that would be my next step for this channel, is to, you know, I know you've seen other people do it. We just saw someone did 20 days, up the ante. You are allowed to take something that someone else did and put your spin on it. And that is how people grow on YouTube. And that's how things trend. People find a trend that they like and they jump on it, like the Grimace Shake. There was someone who did that first, and then a whole bunch of people did a Grimace Shake video. So you're allowed to take something someone else did and bring your spin to it.
Is it fair to criticize this channel for a lack of commitment to consistency, Dan? I know you're always very sensitive about quality over quantity, etc. But this channel has made 7 videos in 5 months, and it seems to be sporadic. Like, they made a video 3 days ago, but before that, it was a month. So given that the videos are on gaming, they tend to be able to produce these, I'm not going to say quickly, but more efficiently than other types of channels. What do we want to set a task? Like, hey, channel, can you create 1 video every 2 weeks? So 2 a month to the end of the year. So that would be what? It's not big ass, it's 6 videos.
Yeah. They should get some level of consistency. I think that would help. I am a believer that if you have a good idea, you don't have to upload daily to get views. Although the people who upload daily, the thing they get to do is really brush up on their skills. They are going to take a crash course on YouTube really quick. They're going to hit themselves with their first bout of burnout, and they're going to learn quickly a lot of things. So there's some merit to both strategies. I just want everyone to know whatever works best for you. It really comes down to the concept of the video, the idea behind it, especially when we're talking about gaming and like challenge videos and things like that. So It looks like you're pointing at thumbnail elements, which is definitely.
Yeah. So the final point I was going to make is, I'm sure we'll cover this in more detail on other channels, but thumbnail chaos. I might describe this as, for example, the most recent one. We've got a Minecraft logo, but then something over it, like a calls to action in the thumbnail. Then a big block of text, which is about 8 words, probably a lot to read. And then I don't know why, but the settings button is also distracting as well, just because it's out there by itself. We'll probably cover thumbnails in a lot more detail on another channel, but yeah, the busy would be my best way to describe all of that.
It is very, very busy. Yes. So that's, again, if you're making daily videos and you're putting that effort, or just making regular videos and you're putting that effort to get better and better at titles and thumbnails, like all these skills that you need to be a good content creator, you will learn, you know. So upload at the pace that makes the most sense for you, and really focus on just improving those certain aspects. I would say some of your thumbnails are better than others, but ultimately we do want to kind of go back to the drawing board on these. I would say the best one is the one with 23 views, built a starter base, Paper Minecraft episode 1. And it's pretty clear. I see 2D Minecraft, I see Paper Minecraft, it's easy to read. I still think that thumbnail could have been better as well, but it's not bad. So yeah, there's a lot of skilling up this creator should be thinking about. Ultimately though, I think they have a really cool channel here. I think there's like a lot of hope for this channel. It's just, you know, don't worry so much about, hey, I did a simple thing in Paper Minecraft. Take it to the max. Like, there's so many people who are benefiting from doing these longer form challenges and things like that. Jump in. Like, absolutely.
Dan, you can tick off on a checkbox. Always remember to leave a channel audit with some motivation. And you've certainly done that with this channel. And now it means that we can go self-indulgent, as we often do, or at least I often do in these live streams. And we go to Rob Wilson's Gaming Corner. Did we do this last week, Dan?
There was no time for that.
Shame on you. Shame on you. Well, this week, I completely forgot to get a sound effect from a game. So I'm just going to have to play this as like a substitute. Dan and everybody else, tell us what video games you've been playing over the last week. Well, last 2 weeks. Yeah, we're doubling up here.
Nothing. I'll tell you what I did. I got a microfiber cloth and I cleaned the screen on my Switch Lite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So weren't you telling me pre-recording though that you've made a big nostalgic decision?
Yeah, I'm trying to collect some retro stuff, but I'm not playing anything.
So you're buying, but you're not playing. You're just gonna.
Well, yeah, everything's still shipping and all that fun stuff. But I'm trying to up my retro collection a little bit.
Cool. Yeah. All right, I'm just seeing what people are playing, like Subway Surfers. People still playing like it. Wasn't that one of the original mobile games?
Was it?
A very long time ago. Like Temple Run. I think it's very similar to that, but yeah, it's been out for years. Is that one? Look, Super Castlevania 4. Some real classics here coming out. Dan, if you continue to click on some of the games that people are playing, and I'll tell you what I've been up to. You may remember that just before I went on my travels, I was playing Saints Row. Continues to just be an enjoyable romp. Like, you don't have to think very much. It's one of those games where once you get into the side quests, you can just like play a podcast. So I can listen to something while I'm playing the game, and like put the game on mute and just listen to a podcast. I don't know if that's considered good multitasking or just not really giving the game enough attention and credit. But while I was on my travels, I couldn't play on Saints Row. So I went a bit nostalgic, and I played on the greatest football game ever, which is Pro Evolution 4. You can argue with me in the comments about that. It's a 20-year-old football game, still the best. And also Final Fantasy Tactics. I may have mentioned this in a previous live stream, but it was a game I almost gave up on when I first got it. 20 years old, and I'm playing through it again, and it is very, very addictive. So that's the games that you've been playing. It's the games that Dan hasn't been playing, and the games I've been playing. And Windows has closed down. So let's audit another channel. We'll get right back into it, Dan. And this is one of these, something completely different channels. We've never audited it before. Let's dive in. They call themselves the Low Carbon Project. From what I can see from the thumbnails, this is a channel all about constructing houses made of plants, in particular, hemp. Now, I'm going to leave all of the obvious jokes to the chat. We're just going to sidestep
encourage them.
that. We're just going to sidestep that, Dan, and we're going to look at a completely unique channel. I would suggest, I mean, but to be fair, Dan, they do kind of have the Breaking Bad channel icon. They're kind of
they're owning
teasing that themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, this channel is probably very unique on YouTube, which means that they have access to probably a lot of their audience, which means that they're getting some very encouraging views. All views are similar to subscriber count, with some occasional viral moments, like 34,000 views. So I think they've got the target audience right with their contents. Mm-hmm. What do you think is perhaps lacking? What could they maybe improve on?
Yeah, I know exactly what I would like to see them do. I don't know if this will work for them. What I would like to see them do is consider that someone like me, who doesn't even know what a hammer looks like or the difference between an Allen wrench and a monkey wrench, someone like me might like to watch these videos because of just how cool it is that you're documenting this journey, right? Sometimes it feels like the titles are really particular for, like, you're really, really focused on like the specifics of what it takes to build a house like this.
Sure.
What if I just want to follow on the journey and I don't know all the technical terms? I don't know all this stuff. Like lime rendering the hemp I don't know what that is. I don't know what lime rendering a house is. Yeah. A self-build 3-bed house. All the stuff all the words I understand get truncated. I would like simpler titles on these. I don't mind the numbers on them because I think you are documenting. It's a house that's being built from the ground up, so the numbers help me understand what part of the process you're in. But I think, like, look at that video. We built this in 7 days. It's number 3. Like, look at the views on that.
Yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say. I can understand the concept, and then the thumbnail is hard to read, but it says building the hemp house frame. That, I think more people watch that because they're like, I would never build a hemp house or a house frame at all. But hey, that's really cool. I didn't know you could build a house out of hemp. I want to learn more. I think you should really sit down with your title and thumbnail strategy for your next videos and consider getting rid of the technical mumbo jumbo and focusing more on just like the journey itself. And let the thumbnail talk about how it's a hemp house, but let the title just talk about like the specific thing you're doing, like the bathroom or I don't know, whatever it might be. I think you know where I'm going with this, right?
Yeah, I what you're saying, my understanding is, just make the packaging more accessible to a broader audience. And number 3 is a good example of that. I'm not sure how episode 6 went viral, but it went viral, which means that there's clearly an audience when YouTube finds it.
Yeah.
I'm not so in love with the idea of like every video being more accessible. I think there is an idea of like to really focus in on that core audience, and you want to keep them really engaged. I think you can get more technical in, I would say maybe like 50 to 75% of your videos. But I agree, Dan, that they should think about a flagship video, like in an intentional, how can we maybe make this go viral for the channel type of content. With this as your kind of packaging.
Not only that, I'm gonna give you a tip from the gaming side of YouTube. When you finish the house, I want you to take all the videos. I want you to put them together into one compilation. I don't know what you'll name it. Make sure it's relevant. A lot of the gaming channels do this where they do like 100 days in Minecraft or something, and it's a big compilation. So you can do like a day 1, day 100 situation. But when it's done, I want you to take the entire series and put it in one video. This works for so many channels. And if you want a non-gaming example, Ryan Trahan did this with his latest penny series. He did a 7-day penny challenge. He waited 3 weeks after all the videos were on YouTube. After number 7 was uploaded, it was 3 weeks. And then boom, the entire series, day 1, day 7. And that video did phenomenal for him. I've seen this in the gaming space a ton. And because you're doing an episodic series that does have a realistic end, eventually you will finish this house. That's my like long-term idea for you. And I think a lot of people, if you make that video accessible, a lot of people will follow that journey. Suddenly the titles and thumbnails don't matter as much. The thumbnail makes itself. It's day 1 is you maybe breaking ground or like a really like the most basic thing. And then day whatever, the last day of the challenge, the build, whatever, is the finished product, right? And it will be very clear to the audience what this is. And I built a hemp house in X amount of time. Super simple title, super simple thumbnail. and super viral potential, in my opinion.
I'm glad you went on a good 1 minute soliloquy then, because my computer was just breaking.
It looks like it's still...
as you can see, things have just gone wrong here. Hang on. I need to readjust the screens. Yeah, I think sometimes my graphics card just disconnects for a random reason, and then all my monitors go blank. But anyway, Dan, brilliant stuff. Again, will we both agree that the thumbnails can be a little... I'm not going to say complicated. I think a lot of them look flat.
It's flat.
And what we mean by that, there's not much difference between a foreground and a background. So everything is in focus or sharp, and your eyes are kind of struggling to follow where I should be looking on the thumbnail. Again, we may talk about this more in another channel audit. Text. You think the text is all right? I can understand why they're using this kind of scratch font. Maybe fits the vibe of the channel. Mostly readable if you have the right color with the right background. Sometimes, as you say, Dan, that the fluorescent green one just doesn't quite work on this thumbnail. It makes it a little hard to read. Whereas on this one, it's easy to read, and this one, just got to think about...
even the ones that are easier to read, I would like to see blurring behind the text. Like, anyone can do this. It's easier to read because the text is larger and it takes up half the thumbnail. But I would have liked it if you blur the background, at least behind the text, so it really stands out. Yellow works well, and white works well. I think green is just difficult on the eyes, especially in a lot of cases with these thumbnails. I think green is not working super well. But yeah, we're just nitpicking here.
All right, then. It's time for an announcement. We recommend that you join the vidIQ Discord channel.
Oh.
And the reason for that is because Victoria, our wonderful community manager, runs a Creator of the Month kind of semi-competition. And the winner, through votes, gets a channel audit. And this creator, this week, Dan, won by a single vote. And they go by the name of Milrus. They're a shorts creator. Sorry, I'm reading off screen here, so I do apologize if I'm looking off screen. A shorts creator in the small but intriguing niche of YouTube statistics. One of my biggest accomplishments in the last month was realizing that the majority of my audience comes from diverse countries such as Russia, Vietnam, and so on, with my niche previously was not affiliated with. But knowing that millions of new people around the world were introduced to my niche via my shorts was a great achievement for my channel as a whole. And their channel, Dan, is this. 500,000 subscribers with not that many videos on long-form content.
Wow.
Mostly shorts. And some of their most popular shorts have millions of views, which is intriguing to see. Now, this is a curious niche of YouTube. I was trying to think of a better word. I was going to use the word backwater, but I think that's unfair. YouTube statistics. These became very popular a couple of years ago when people were using data programs like Flourish, I think it was called, to track the progress of creators by doing bars that went off. And they're kind of visually ASMR-y, stimulating to watch. But the content kind of died down, but this channel has discovered a new source of audience through shorts. So a much shorter version. Like, they used to be like 3-4 minutes long sometimes. These must be presumably less than 60 seconds. So just before we maybe talk about this channel in general, Dan, what do you think about this topic? Because I know some people have a somewhat ambivalent attitude to it.
I think with shorts in general, it's about like that visual, like stimulation, visual storytelling, and seeing just the thumbnails of these. I can already tell a story is kind of being told here, right? And the fact they put themselves on the screen like that, you know, is pretty smart. I think it just adds to it, like kind of makes it a little bit ridiculous.
Is it them? I'm wondering.
I don't know if it's them.
You say that. Maybe it is. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's not. But either way, having that pop up is like, as soon as you're kind of thinking, okay, I get the point, someone pops up on the screen, you know? So it's really interesting to watch. I think the statistics channels, they did have their time to shine. It makes sense for shorts. You just get that quick little story Look how these channels grew at the rate they grew. Oh, wow, I didn't know that. And then you swipe away and you continue enjoying your day. So this works.
Now, let's get on to the question of who they are covering in particular. If you scroll down these shorts, all I'm seeing is Mr. Beast, or Mr. Beast the majority of the time. So there is somewhat of a reliance. Maybe I would hesitate to say, but probably correctly, over-reliance on one creator and their successful story. Now, the problem with that is Mr. Beast still going to be relevant in a few years' time? The answer is probably yes. But also, if you're relying on another content creator, that typically means that you are very easy to replicate and ultimately, essentially, maybe be replaceable. So is this a concern, Dan? Do they need to wean themselves off Mr. Beast to find other interesting YouTube statistic stories? Or am I just painting a negative picture where there probably isn't one?
I don't know if they've tested other creators. I would say, like, I see a Markiplier one there, and Mr. Beast is in that group too. Yeah, so I would say that there is some test going on, and I agree. There's a lot of other big YouTubers that are household names. It's not just Mr. Beast and then everyone else. So I would be focused on a lot of different household names as much as possible. And yeah, I think that would be an interesting challenge. Like, if you could avoid the creators you've already talked about, Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, and all these other household name creators, to find some new household name creators, maybe ones you haven't followed in the past, that could be really interesting. Maybe there's some other stories you can tell with these statistics as well when it comes to quote unquote smaller creators in this space. Like, you know, what if you talked over them and you were like, you know, you may not have ever heard of this channel before. Like, you know, you just kind of told the story about how they grew as the line is moving above your head. You know, I think there's some opportunities here to kind of play with this a bit, because as you can look at the history of this, those statistic channels eventually all became pretty irrelevant. You may suffer the same fate one day. So you should try to be the person who innovates in this space. And I don't exactly know what that looks like. That'll be for you to figure out. But sure. I just want to see you not fall off. Like, this is really cool, like what you've tapped into, and I think it could be innovative.
Yeah, so at 500,000 subscribers, I think I looked correctly, over 50 million views, and they've been on YouTube for 2 years. So certainly a channel that's leveraged shorts in a very powerful and meaningful way for them very, very quickly. And that is Milrus, our creator of the month for September. So we'll be doing one in about a month's time for the month of October. So make sure that you join Discord to get involved in that action. All right, let's audit another channel. And this time we're going to look at another channel, Dan, which I think really leverages into the concept of finding a super niche, a really targeted audience, and then just giving them high value content. They call themselves the Hearing Club. They are just shy of 4,000 subscribers. They've done it with just 29 videos, which is incredible. And they've got approaching 200,000 views. Let's talk about the Hearing Club.
It's such a good example of taking something that you are, I mean, I consider this person, just by looking at their success, probably an expert in this topic, right? Like, if you can earn the trust of an audience and you can provide really, really helpful content, like, you can grow very, very quickly. I don't know how many channels there are that review hearing aids, but this, to me, this is probably maybe one of the larger ones. If not, they will be, because it taps into such a specific group of people. And I think this is really, really cool what they're doing. I think they're, yeah, we should look and see what we got out here. I think they are fantastic in terms of title, thumbnail, concept. It's just everything firing on all cylinders.
So this Dr. Cliff looks like the big leader in the space, along with Hearing Tracker. So hundreds of thousands of subscribers, tens of thousands of subscribers. So there is still room to grow in this space. Treble Health, that's a cool channel name. But yeah, these thumbnails are of a very, well, I was going to say very high quality. Maybe there's a few tweaks still required. I got weirdly, I got a bit of a El Jefe reviews vibe, a little bit just in the color schemes and some of the ways the products are demonstrated. But there are still tweaks they could probably make here, right?
Yeah, I think so. I think sometimes they feel a little bit busy. Like the one I'm looking at is the one that says "Never Coming Back." It's kind of in the middle there. There's like I see Costco's logo, and then I see Kirkland, which is, if you don't know, it's like a Costco brand. And so why that's in the background, I don't know, because I feel like it's taking away from otherwise really, really high quality picture. So there are, yes, admittedly, little tweaks here and there. And, you know, the fact that like the other channel you saw was like Dr. So-and-so, I think having doctor in the name, also, as long as they are a doctor, adds like a lot of credibility too. Is this person, you know, a medical professional? Maybe it's in their about section. That can always be really good for your credibility.
I don't think they are done. I think they're just a user of the products.
And
professional.
You don't have to be a medical professional to need hearing aids, of course. So you can review them from that perspective, and that could also be valuable and unique. If I needed hearing aids, I expect one day I may, I would probably want to get a lot of opinions. I'd want doctors' opinions. I'd want the opinions of people who've used them before. This is just really solid work by this channel. Look at the thumbnail evolution, like from way back when they started, looks like a year ago, to now. Like, it's gotten so much better.
Yeah, some of the thumbnails here started with like 7 or 8 elements. Way too many elements. Now we're down to about 4, 5, 6 elements. So I still think there are elements that you could remove a little bit from these. And just in this one, there's some kind of awkward negative spacing that just doesn't look right. I also noticed that your face, you're stylishly lit, but maybe that doesn't work on the thumbnail. I think you do that in the videos, but maybe you just need to like have a full lit face to have more of an emotion a little bit on the thumbnails at least. But yeah, very, very regular content coming out. I'd say twice a week, it looks like here. I'm sure, Dan, if Jeff was here, he would be giving you the recommendations of, let's do some listicle stuff, like the best hearing aids under $300. So then you can have a list of products, or you can do some comparison videos. I'm mostly seeing here individual reviews of products. So there may be a slight missed opportunity there in terms of being able to combine products, comparisons, listicles, especially as we move into the holiday season as well, where there may be Black Friday deals, discounts on these products as well. Let's just click on the latest one because I want to check if they are leveraging business opportunities. Can we see? We can see plenty of affiliate links there. So they're certainly taking care of their business outside of ad revenue, which is fantastic to see. I think this channel has so much going for it already, and there's space to grow in this area of YouTube. We haven't really looked at the titles, but I think the titles are very much of the review style of it's the best of something or the worst of something, or don't miss out on this product. I think those are all very capable titles. I'd love to know what the traffic sources were, like whether it was search or browse. If it's search, then you probably do have opportunity to move into browse-based kind of titles. That's something we've spoken before about on the vidIQ channel with videos. So just generally all thumbs up here, Dan. Like, very encouraging, and there's more opportunity for the channel.
Yes, 100%. This is one of those I love to do where we don't have like a ton of advice for you. We just want to like tell you, hey, like what you're doing is super cool. You were on the right track, and I think a lot of people watching can learn from a channel like this. You know, if you guys have something that you are an expert in, you know, sometimes you'd be surprised at like how well certain topics can do on YouTube. You know, so this is awesome.
And then the two outliers, as we've seen here. Top hearing aids, so that's like a listicle, brilliant, big long video as well. Like, viewers seem to like your long videos as well, so don't be afraid of video length.
Yep.
And I'm wondering if you could maybe leverage this product and maybe do a comparison video. Let's say you compare this to a very similar product, like 3 other products, and go through the whole list. Because remember, when you do these videos, you're probably touching like that potential size of the audience, whereas you've still got, you know, this huge audience that hasn't seen your content yet. So don't worry too much about repeating products, repeating titles, but just having a different angle on those products. Dan,
Nice.
we're
Yeah.
40 minutes in. I think we need to blaze through the multitude of super chats that we now have ready to go. So I just want to play the right music to kick us off.
We got some really good questions here.
22 already. Goodness. So, yeah, right off the bat, as usual, you send us a super chat asking for a channel review. And I actually forgot to mention at the very beginning of this live stream, super chats do not guarantee channel audits because we want to leave that aspect of this live stream completely free. But we do thank you for the super chats. Next person we have is a new member, and they get a custom sound effect. It is Lilibeth Divine Bride, Daughter Princess of D King. That is possibly the longest channel name I've ever seen.
Yes.
And that's your custom sound effect for today. Uch Gamer X, I'm almost YPP eligible. Thanks to you guys.
Nice.
You're welcome. Good to hear. We love to know that we've joined you on the journey a little bit. And I don't know if you saw in a small print when you watch one of these videos, but we are eligible for 0.5% of your ad revenue from this point forward.
I think they're covered for a bit then.
Do let us know when you do get monetized, because we'll be asking you for that. The greatest of all time, Daddy and a Fan. Just want to give a shout out to vidIQ being growing consistently on a daily basis and in a short time. A lot of that growth is thanks to y'all. Very happy face, goat emoji. Weirdly, I was walking around VidSummit last week, Dan, and I kept hearing somebody say, "There's a goat, there's a goat," and they were actually talking about me. And
they were talking about you?
Yeah, they were. I went, bah, and then walked off.
I expect nothing less. I just want to say, like, we appreciate you guys letting us know that, like, you're attributing your growth to vidIQ, but listen, like, you did that. There are so many people who watch the stream, and we know firsthand that don't apply the advice we give. And the fact that you did, I mean, there you go. You did that.
You did, sir. Steampunk. How should a channel re-niche within a category?
Re-niche within a category.
So I always think that there is a potential for crossover. I'm just going to use gaming as the obvious example here. Let's say you're playing Fortnite, but you want to transition over to Valorant because it's a first-person shooter. There's a good crossover. How do you do that? You do a video which combines those two games, whether it's a comparison video or like you start the game playing Fortnite and then you just have a rage quit and then you say, right, I'm going on to Valorant. But you kind of introduce these new concepts in a meaningful way to your audience rather than just doing like a cold turkey new video about new topic and not kind of communicating that with your audience.
Yeah, you could do a versus kind of video. You're comparing like two things that are similar to each other. You know, there's nothing wrong with testing stuff. Like, if you have an idea for a new thing, test it out. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to is like the through line between all of your videos. What's the connecting tissue between all of them? Because a lot of the creators that I watch that feel more variety, there's just something about them that's like always the same, even though they're doing different things, they're playing different games. So that's really like identifying that for you will help put a lot of things in perspective.
Can you just let us know in the chat, by the way, if you could hear the background music? Because I can hear it ever so slightly.
Yeah, it's low.
But I don't know if people can hear it. And this is one of the things I actually complained to, Dan, at VidSummit. I went to StreamYard and say, look, we love all the stuff you're doing.
Fist on the booth.
But we need audio levels for our stream so that we know that everybody can hear stuff correctly.
What they say.
People are saying no, right? Okay. Right. So we'll crank the music up a little bit. I don't know if that's going to make a difference, but there we are.
What did they say? What did they say?
Yeah, we're working on it. So, you know, it's something we've heard. I think was the answer.
Okay, good. That's all right.
And then I asked, can I have a T-shirt and a duck?
They whip you in the face.
And they said yes, but we want a testimonial from you. So I don't know. You may see a testimonial from me on a stream, right? Anyway, what are we doing here? We're doing channel audits, and we want to say a huge thank you to Did you I? Super Sticky 200 of some currency. We appreciate it. Dad, you said all of the comments were awesome. Was it just because they're all vidIQ loving comments?
Oh,
Can I just say, this comes from
yeah.
Gaming Demon 666. A big thank you. I joined around a year ago and I have gained 2,500 subscribers.
Nice.
I also made a video 5 days ago using the vidIQ info, and it's gone viral, and I've gotten 3,000 views. All right, so folks,
Wow.
just put this into perspective. He's saying he's gone viral. You're thinking that's not viral. Any video that like outperforms for your channel, I always consider your viral moment. It's your next step. Oh, look. Did you see what happened then?
Yeah.
It readjusted my camera because I did that thing. I'm going to have to change that in a minute. Right. I'm going to have to fix that now, Dan. So I'm going to let you deal with the next question, which comes from this person. If you can read it out for me, please.
I started my channel as a technical channel in the Urdu/Hindi language. Recently, I started a video essays in English, and growth is so good that I got into the YouTube Partner Program. Should I proceed with a bilingual channel? Interesting. So what I would say is congrats, first of all. Secondly, if I'm understanding the question correctly, you pivoted to English and you got into the YPP. I would say that you've now attracted an English-speaking audience, and so if you try to do a bilingual channel, it's going to confuse that new audience. But what you could do is make sure, and YouTube is going to give us even more tools for this soon, make sure your videos are at least translated in terms of captions.
Yes. Yeah.
You can even, in the future, like this is what we do, you could have a channel that is the same videos, but dubbed in a different language. We have a Spanish channel, and it's us on camera, but we have someone dubbing the content for us, and that's just for like the best experience for that audience. We don't speak Spanish, but we feel like the information we give is valuable for everybody, so that was like one of the solutions. So that would be like some stuff you can look at. There's probably going to be, with AI and everything, a lot of ways to try and like tap into multiple languages and markets, and again, YouTube has teased some features that you could look up. You'll probably be really excited about. But listen, congrats. I think this is awesome, and it's a problem that's probably going to solve itself really soon.
The problem with a bilingual channel is that sometimes you got to make exactly the same video, but in two different languages, and that can really cheese off one audience or the other. Because like, well, I've already seen this video in my language, and now I've got to wait for another video in my language to consider. Right. Oh, hang on. I forgot to loop the music. Is it looping?
Yeah, it's looping.
Yeah, it's looping. Okay, right. This is an interesting question, Dan. Comes from DOS Storm. Does anybody remember MS-DOS? Does anybody ever remember when you had to quit out of Windows and then you have a boot disk that then loaded all your sound drivers and disk drives in order to play games? I had many sleepless night trying to get FIFA 96 to work on a boot disk. Anyway, I have a weird issue. I made a video last week with a unique idea. Long story short, it was reposted on some news sites. Now 80% of my views are from external sources. Is this bad, and is it fixable? Well, first of all, what I would say, DOS, is at least those external news sites didn't just steal your video and re-upload it. Like, they are sourcing the original content, which is yours, which is brilliant. From a positive point of view, what this is doing is potentially starting YouTube watch sessions. So you are bringing people into YouTube. Now, if the content is embedded, it makes it hard for that viewer to then re-navigate off of YouTube. But I would say generally, Dan, if you're getting traffic from elsewhere, if people are sharing your content, that is typically a very good thing.
Yes, external views are still good. It also, now it's not Google giving you those external views. It's somebody who looked at your video, trusted you and your credibility, and then put their neck out for you and put it on their piece of content. Like, this is a really, really good thing. I don't think this is going to lead you to get a ton of subscribers and a ton of recognition. What I do think it can do, though, is like set up some really good habits. Like, now you have a better understanding of your niche if you didn't before, because you can go to that blog. What are the topics that they're writing about on that news site or blog or whatever it might be? Can you make videos about those topics? Because clearly you're catering to a similar audience, you know, and I don't know what your video is and I don't know what their site is. So I could be way off. Some sites do cover a lot of topics. So grain of salt here, but I'm excited for you. I think this is really cool. And I think, again, try to just keep catering to the same audience over and over. Embrace it. This is awesome. It's definitely not going to hurt. That's for sure.
We started with, I think, 23 super chats, and now we have 21. We're not making good progress here. Regardless, Gaming Demon 666. Yesterday, I was looking at my content and found a new promoting beta.
Uh-oh.
This is the tab that says your promotion tool in the YouTube analytics.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on it? Will I make a video? Dan, I'm just going to throw this one over to you.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do that. The end.
That was a simple answer. Yeah. We'll
don't do it because I'll say, because seriously, people are using this. You are going to be putting money behind your video, and YouTube is now obligated to give it views. And when you see an ad, how often do you go, a new thing I didn't know about, and you investigate it to its fullest extent? Probably not very often. So if you have a product to sell, that's what it's for. It's great for selling like a product or a service that you offer. If you have courses on your channel or something, sure, put some money, do some marketing, put some money behind them. If you were just trying to get people to watch your channel, you have a captive audience. Like they're trying to watch something else and YouTube is putting you in front of them because you paid them to do it. That's not how you get a loyal audience. We are here to help you grow organically. And we believe you don't need to give money for that. That's kind of the opposite. So yeah, cheating is one way to put it.
Okay, I'm going to try my best to pronounce his name correctly. Mithrashi Aya. Any advice on how to deal with views on a video that suddenly dropped after a few days? It's not uncommon. That will happen on YouTube because there's so much content being released. If it was a trending piece of content because of some news, then that's another reason why it may run out of steam. If the content is still relevant and you have more to say about that particular topic, I would make a new video. I would approach it with a new angle, a new opinion, use comments as a reference point. This is what happens on YouTube. No, very few videos stay evergreen.
Yeah.
So your audience wants to see more content from you. It's the typical answer. Now, Dan, I do need to check. Did Design Burst give us a super chat last week?
I believe they did.
Yeah.
Also, I missed Old Man Gib gifted like 1 billion subscribers, and I missed that completely. So I apologize to anyone I missed, especially Old Man Gib. You guys are awesome. Thank you for all the support.
It wasn't quite 1 billion. I think it was 50 gifted memberships, right? From what I can remember. But yeah.
You know, at a certain number, it's like, it's 1 billion.
Okay, that's my sound effect's not working there. I was going to try and give it... There we go. Yes, 10-second delay on the sound effect. But Design Burst asks, and I think you're now 22 as a streak, something like that. How important the logo is in YouTube? Someone suggested changing our logo, saying that DE in a logo doesn't make sense. Is it really bad? I think typically speaking, this is a minor point of improvement. Like if you need to do work on thumbnails and titles and hooks, that's where I'll be putting all of your energy. People are going to see your logo obviously underneath thumbnails. They're not going to pay too much attention to it there. They'll see it on your channel page. They may pay a little more attention there, and they'll see your channel profile in comments where they might pay more attention to it. Now, sometimes people prefer to use faces. If you're a design channel, maybe some kind of unique design may be more appropriate. But generally speaking, Dan, it's not something to worry over.
Not really. I always like to talk about channel banners and icons as like a branding thing. Like as you start to seek out maybe sponsorships, things like that. It's, you know, it's about like, how do you want to be perceived on YouTube to those kinds of brands and stuff. But I think the average user doesn't necessarily like notice too much.
New member, Vintage Jewels, Gems and Pearls. This is your unique sound effect for the week.
All right.
Next one, Home Dad. Short video with 10,000 views. Oh, here we go, all of the analytics. 115 average view duration. 66 blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to say analytics. Views have slowed down to 8 to 10 per hour. Do you know why?
Not without looking at the content itself.
But also refer to our previous conversation about maybe the topic's old, there's more competition, videos have a certain shelf life, not everything can be evergreen. You know, the viewed versus swiped away, that is I would say on a very average figure. Average view duration is meaningless without knowing the length of the video as well.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say there's any outstanding analytics there from what I can see.
I mean, you can have all the numbers in the world. Sometimes it's just topic. Like sometimes there's no mathematical formula that can give us the answer to that. It really is like topic, and keep making videos. It sounds like, hey, 10,000 views at all on a short. That's good. That's a good place to be. So keep at it.
All right, let's do one more super chat, even though we've got another 19 to do at some point. The Midway Dispatch. Hey, Rob. I hope my hometown of Dallas treated you well last week. Any big takeaways from Vid Summit? The biggest takeaway is that I'm famous. People like to shake my hand. And these glasses really do work as primal branding. Like, I was just spotted everywhere. Biggest takeaways, I would say, are Paddy Galloway is a genius. His session was very, very good. I think he's just basically posted his session as a tweet. As a Twix. So go check that out. And also, Zach King is a master storyteller because all of the sessions were very structurally strategy-based, tips, steps, whatever. But Zach just told a story. And I came away from the conference feeling if that's the thing I remembered most. It was about all of his failures. All he did was an hour, 30 minutes worth of failures of his stories. And he got quite emotional at the end of it as well. So storytelling works. Yeah. We just all need to get better at it. Dan, shall we conclude these super chats there for the time?
For now.
I'll pause the music. Yeah, we've got plenty more that we need to get through. And we will return to them later on. In the meantime, we have a winner of our Facebook challenge. So yes, announcement number 2. Join our Facebook group. There's a link in the description. And this was all about answering 2 things. I'm going to bring that up now. And so basically, we were asking for YouTube's golden rules. And 2 creators gave us answers, but only one of them sent the link. And so the answer from one of the creators was, give up if your first video has less than 1 million views in 4 hours. There's just no point. That's the golden rule of YouTube, according to them. And also, if you were to make an apology video, it would go a little bit like this. Hi, we need to talk. Or I'm sorry. And if possible, use a musical instrument, ukulele, highly recommended, great track record, or interpretive dance. I think I would go for harmonica if I was going to do an apology video. That's what I'd try and use.
Yeah,
but anyway,
Dan, any instrument because I don't know how, and I think they'd be more distracted by that.
I think so. Yeah,
I did wrong. Yeah,
exactly. Anyway, this was one of the winners, and they call themselves AllSparkCreations. They have 66 subscribers, 26 videos, videos and shorts. Yeah, videos and shorts. A fun channel dedicated to Transformers, related to content such as voice impersonation. I think that will probably read as in the About section. So, Dan, what are we seeing here? I'm seeing some muddy, messy, maybe stills clips from Transformer content, but some encouraging views.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of videos titled blank out of context.
Yeah.
And so I know that that's people kind of clipping stuff together. I think that is transformative. I'm not the authority on that, obviously.
Nice shot there, transformative.
Get it? That's what I was trying to do. I'm not the authority on that, on transformative content, so I'm not going to help get you out of court. But, we would normally say, hey, don't take other people's content, blah, 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 blah. Like, these types of videos can do well, though. I guess what I'm wondering is, what's the goal behind the channel? It's tough with how many different videos like that they're doing. It's tough to give advice, right? It's like keep finding popular old media so you can make out of context videos. Stop motion. I don't see any stop motion, but yeah, I'm also seeing this channel for the first time. So
yeah. So, I mean, as you say, Dan, they have this concept that's known to work on YouTube, currently on Transformers, and they're finding an audience. Maybe we should get T-shirts that say, we're not going to help you get out of court.
Yeah,
And
sorry.
then copyright on the back of a t-shirt. Yeah, so as you say, this is a channel where there's not necessarily a brand associated with it, a value proposition. They could be easily replaceable with similar channels doing this type of thing. But they have this focus and they are getting a decent amount of views from it. Like, we're at this point where they're getting 300 or more, sometimes 1,000. And that is a positive place to be for the channel. But ultimately, you're thinking like this is kind of their first step in establishing an audience. And then they've got to maybe try and figure out what they can do that's uniquely transformative so that the audience starts to recognize AllSparkCreations as opposed to, I guess you sometimes equate to the TikTok content where these channels can have millions of followers, but they're not really followers. They just swipe through content and say, hell yeah, that's funny. Swipe to the next thing. And they never remember the channel name or anything. It's just a part of their daily consumption. And this channel could potentially fall into that not well known channel, but kind of funny content.
It is, yeah. I did see in their about section there's something about voiceover. Maybe they're doing impressions as well. Like, so the more personality you can put into a channel like this, the better, because that's what we really want for everybody. We want people to subscribe for you and your personality. When we see channels that just kind of clip stuff together, that's one of the concerns too. Even if you're above board on copyright issues, it's difficult to imagine how you get that upper echelon of popularity where people are like, oh my gosh, you're AllSparkCreations, I love your work. Like, some people don't even want that, but for the folks who do, it's like that's where it can be kind of like challenging, especially for us as like channel reviewers.
All right, that is AllSparkCreations. Now it's time for a little bit of this. I don't know. Is this your favorite part of the stream? Do let us know with the appropriate emoji in the chat. It is, of course, the CLAAAW. It's where we get random, and we do not know what's coming next. 387 of you have submitted to the non-gaming channel form, and 319 of you have submitted to the gaming form. And so I have settled on a number 400. This is what is commonly known as... And we will send that claw into the ball pit and we pick out a number, 333. That is suspiciously consistent. So we put that number in here. Oh, hang on.
Yep.
Let's do that properly. There we are. And then we take this URL, which is hopefully accurate to a channel. And we're looking at Subography. And this is a photographic channel. We have not come across them before. So this is a brand new channel, first impressions. Maybe there's a lot to talk about. Maybe there isn't much to talk about. We'll find out very quickly, as they have 865 subscribers. Oh. And the immediate thing I'm going to say as a photography channel, and this has just been harsh, to be fair, because of expectations. Your thumbnails are all right. But as a photography channel, they need to shine. They need to be beautiful, magnificent, epic. They need to reach out and pull me into the video. And I think you're on the right course with some of these thumbnails, but not all of them. Let's discuss them.
That is, the red and the green thumbnails were the ones that stood out to me the most. The ready and the only 5%. The ones that the latest green thumbnail is a little bit too green for me. Everything else, yeah, like I like those two thumbnails a lot. Even the ones like vintage lenses, like that one looks pretty cool. Overall, like there's just like some hits and misses. Like there's one at the top that was a lot of text. Like the only 3 recipes you need for overcast photography. Overcast photography sounds like the thumbnail to me. Like, you know, take a picture of something that makes it obvious you're talking about overcast photography, you know, because the title will do the rest of the heavy lifting. You don't need a camera and a wooden table and all that. Like, so there's just certain things that like are missing. When I look at the one that says only 5% with 2.3K views, that's encouraging. It says only 5%. Cinebloom effect with street photography. I still think well, like I would like to know what that effect looks like, in the thumbnail. But listen, it's good views, like compared to some of the other videos.
I'd say that's intriguing, Dan. Just having that only 5%, that just stops the scroll.
Yeah.
Because naturally going to say only 5% of what?
Right.
And then when you see Cine Bloom at the beginning of a title, you're probably still thinking, what's Cine Bloom? Okay, you've got my attention there. I maybe click on this.
Yeah. And then maybe they tried a street photography one as well. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of encouragement there. And that raises curiosity. I'm thinking out loud as I'm saying a lot of this. And one of the things I'm struggling with is like some videos have really, really good views and others just did not work. And it makes me wonder, how many videos have they made? Like, are they still trying to figure things out?
55.
55. Okay. Yeah. There's other channels we can look at that discuss photography. And I feel like there's a few routes you can go. You can talk about editing photos. You can talk about equipment. And you can talk about just the practice itself of like getting really good at photography. And there's crossover there. But I would say especially like, I did see one video about like editing photos. I saw an Adobe product listed somewhere. Yeah. Like that is to me a different channel. Like someone who's doing tutorials like that is different than a channel that's teaching me about lenses and how to get better at the craft. So understanding your audience may be another piece of advice here, but it's, you can tell I'm struggling a little bit because there's like so much going on.
Yeah.
Maybe Rob is too.
Yeah, I think you've stolen all of the good ideas, and now I'm struggling the same as you, Dan. But
I can take those and organize them more. I was very disorganized.
I think we've covered it in that there are some really good examples of thumbnails that really encourage a click, and you want to delve into them more. And then, as you say, there are some aspects of photography that resonate far more with your audience than others. Maybe it's a particular type of equipment that you use, like in terms of when you're talking about lenses, that might be something that's of particular interest to your audience. But again, some of them just get like a couple of hundred views.
Yeah.
And so just diving deeper into that in terms of like the traffic sources and like audience retention, is probably going to tell you a little bit more about them. But I will still go back to the fact that because you are a photography channel, your thumbnails have to be of the highest order with every thumbnail. And about 20% are, I would say, hitting the mark at the moment on this channel. Okay, so that's how do you say that? Subography?
Subography sounds right.
Subography. Not subography. That just doesn't work.
I took a poll. Is the CLAAAW your favorite part of the stream? 74% said yes. So that means 26% said no. And now I'm going to do another poll as we pick the next channel.
Yeah.
I want to know, what is your favorite part? I'm going to put like 3 different parts here. What?
Make sure to include self-indulgent gaming corner.
Oh, you want me to include gaming corner? You want them to roast gaming corner like that?
If you can, please, yes.
Okay.
All right, we move on to a gaming channel with no vowels, which makes this channel difficult to pronounce. Syrt. I'm calling this channel Syrt. Okay, what are they playing? Is it Yakuza? I think I'm going to go with Yakuza. I played this game briefly, couldn't get into it. They're going for a very minimalist approach to their titles and thumbnails here, Dan, which is interesting. Because now I don't know if this is just a Let's Play channel or something a bit more philosophical. And I find that kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's... I guess we got to look at one. Do you want to look at one?
All right, I'll click on one quickly.
Oh shit, that's not fireworks.
There is commentary here.
Okay.
We went to the graveyard to pay
all right, and then they had a hook there as well.
Only to get shot.
And there's a bit of
he left us a paper
backstory as well. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So, we've looked at probably hundreds of Let's Play gaming channels over the last couple of years. And I want to give this channel credit for doing something that instinctively and immediately feels a little different. Not just episode number, generic loading screen, Yakuza walkthrough. They are trying to, in a minimalist way, tell some sort of story in a thumbnail and a title. And then they have a pretty good hook, at least in the video I saw.
I would say for channels that do this, I would say this is a better way to do it than I've seen before, where usually it's like game name and episode number, and maybe they try to put something intriguing in the title that doesn't make like a ton of sense. They're just kind of going with like the emotional title thumbnail. And as long as you know who those characters are, you could probably follow pretty quickly that, oh, this channel is playing through this particular game. So
this is what they were doing before. Sorry to interrupt, Dan, but like Cooking Simulator, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a walkthrough. Traction was less impressive than Yakuza.
And the problem with that too is Cooking Simulator doesn't have too much of a story mode. It's kind of you unlock recipes and stuff.
Sure.
So calling it, you know, episode 10 is kind of silly. Like you could have kind of gone a different route with that, because what's the recipe you're making and how good was it? Like we saw the star ratings. Anyway, this is a good evolution for the channel. I would say though that like certain views doing better than other views. Here's what I would encourage them the next time they pick a game, the next time they want to, like, once they finish the series, right? Eventually they'll finish the series. What I would like you to do is do another playthrough series, but give it a twist. I know I talk about this a lot, but give it a twist. What are you going to do that someone else maybe hasn't tried before? Because yeah, anyone could just get the game and play it. But if I buy the game, that's largely going to be my experience. I'm just going to play it the way it was intended. What if you didn't? And then what if that challenge that you're doing is really easy for the audience to comprehend via title and thumbnail? I would say you'll find a little more success there, because now people are like, hey, there's a popular game I've heard of, but someone is going to play it without using their inventory, or they're going to play it with an upside down controller, or they're going to play it, but if they die, they have to delete their whole save file. Like, a lot of gaming channels are really successful because they take the game and use it as a platform to make content with. The game isn't necessarily the content. They take the game as a stage for the fun thing that they want to do. And I think a lot of gaming channels, if you want to stand out, this is, I want to say, like, not the only way to do it, but in terms of the entertainment space in gaming, there's tutorials, there's news, and there's entertainment. In terms of entertainment, it's way more fun to watch someone play something a different way than to just play through it.
Oh.
We have another announcement. There is a new free, free vidIQ tool.
I have mixed messaging here on the sound effects. I don't know if this is an exciting thing or a dangerous thing.
You're looking at this tool right now, Dan. Let me focus in on it for a second, because you've all joined the live stream now. We're all settled, so I can show you this new tool. Have you even seen it? Well, it's right here. It's this little icon here. And what this shows you is whether or not a channel is monetized. So we can see that Syrt is not monetized. Now, this information is buried deep in the web page. We're not like pulling out people's private data. This is on the web page, but now we're just showing it to you in a user interface friendly way. But what if a channel was monetized? Well, if we go to the look, no, that's not a good example. Don't let me find one that is monetized. I'm sure we had a channel earlier on. Okay, so here we are. So Milrus is a monetized channel. So they've got into YPP, and now it will tell you that this channel and this video is monetized. And when you click on a video, so if we do it on, let's say this one, for specific videos, it will also tell you whether the channel is monetized. So if you are researching particular channel niches, topics, videos, you know, in terms of copyright or like community guidelines, and you're wondering, I want to make videos that maybe like on the fence, and I need to do some research, then this tool will help you make informed decisions about what content is monetized on YouTube. And as I say, this is a free vidIQ tool. All you need to do is download the Chrome extension or the Firefox extension. There are links in the description. So take advantage of this new and brand new. I said new and brand new. So it's new, brand new, and ultra new tool from vidIQ. Thank you for indulging me in a bit of shameless self-promotion.
You want the results of that poll now?
Yes.
Okay, so what is your favorite
Okay.
part of the stream?
Okay.
28% said pre-selected channels.
Yeah.
56% said the CLAAAW.
Yeah.
Answering super chat questions, 10%. Given how many
Really?
super chats we get when we answer questions, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
And then Rob's Gaming Corners at 7%.
Oh,
Also surprising.
dear. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Kind of sounds like that we should just do random claw all the way through this live stream. Is that ever going to happen? Co-hosts, privilege? Probably not. But we'll do another random selection now. 397. Do we have enough now? Yes, we do. 397 is the next channel to audit. And they call themselves FiLo Rogue or Rouge. I feel as if we may have audited this channel before.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds similar.
Yeah,
but then
they're here all the time.
hang on a second. Is this a gaming channel? I don't think it is. No, it's just a reaction channel, isn't it? No, it was this thumbnail that threw me for a second, but it isn't. Okay, so they're a reaction channel to memes, people dying inside, TikTok funnies. This video is not for kids, so we definitely won't click on that.
What's most popular?
700 subscribers. That's a good question. So they haven't had any viral moments for themselves yet.
Shorts?
They are in a competitive space, of course, with reactions. Dan's trying to get all of the information here. 26,000 views. So they're having more success with shorts. And interestingly, all of these shorts, do they look like reactions to me? Or just
it's like commentaries on little
maybe
things
commentary or comedy or skits from himself?
Yeah.
That's potentially interesting.
Yeah.
And lots of thousands of views shorts as well. Sorry to interrupt, Dan.
No. When I see channels like that where it's like the creator's face, I start to instantly go to the titles because I'm like, oh, what kind of like? Okay, so they are shorts.
They are predominantly short channels. So like, just check. So okay, they haven't posted anything for 6 months. We apologize. Right? Okay.
Yeah. So when I see stuff like this, I'm like, okay, like this channel, I'm getting like either commentary or comedy vibes here, and it makes me want to watch like a number of these to just kind of get a sense of their thoughts and their opinions. But yeah, Legos will get us to Mars, like hashtag funny. So they're just trying to say like these are videos that they consider funny. You don't really need those hashtags in the titles. YouTube's encouraging them, but I don't really get it. But yeah, Pokemon looks so different now. I'm not seeing any Pokemon in that one, so I'm kind of interested to see what they mean.
I want to watch this one. I want to give FiLo Rogue a chance with one shot. Are we ready, everybody?
Yeah.
I'm going to click it. Let's see what happens.
Oh my god.
Oh.
You mean to tell me that Legos in 2023 can handle more weight than my starship on Starfield?
Oh my god.
That's funny.
You mean to tell me?
It was funny.
Yes.
I think it could have been tighter. The editing was a bit oof.
Yeah, there are a lot of other channels that are doing similar stuff. And so I think this is a craft that you just get better and better at over time. But I loved the concept because I saw that you were reacting to someone else's short. People do this all the time, right? There's like a short and we just get to see a little clip of it. And then a person's face pops up and they're like, can you believe this? Or something like that. So I think this format works really, really well. And I think that was like genuinely funny. And this is one of those examples. Just keep at it. Tighter editing is a really good call out because that's what's going to help with the comedic timing. Part of that is the edit and the way you edit the video. This is Rob.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woo! You got a doorbell for me now? You got a doorbell for your boy Viper. I appreciate you.
Hey, Vipes. How you doing? How was Vid Summit? You must be like either exhausted or just super pumped and ready to take on the world.
You know, Vid Summit was great. You were there. I mean, you would know. It was good, man. We missed Dan, though. Where was Dan at? Why did we not
here? Auditing channels.
Dan was doing the important stuff. Dan was earning the company bucks while we were just spending it all.
But yeah,
let's be honest.
Yeah, good. This time was good, but also good to be back into the flow. I haven't been here in a while, so I want to come in here and say hello. So here we are.
No worries. Let's audit. Let's give you a nice, easy channel to audit, Viper, a gaming channel.
All right.
351.
We've got nice easy channel.
We've got tons of super chats to get through as well. Like we're backed up. We're backed up. Okay, so yeah, so this is a super easy channel, Viper and Edit. It's a foreign language channel about ASMR. Tell us more about it.
It looks like Minecraft. Yeah,
There's a bit of Minecraft there, isn't he?
It does look like Minecraft. That's about the only thing I can get. Although I'm trying to understand what this whole like keyboard, like the video, the thumbnail with the keyboard and the mouth in it. I'm trying to figure out what does that have to do with the rest of the content. It's a little weird.
Yeah, it looks like there's some ASMR or tech reviews in there as well. This is kind of like a good test whereby we try and encourage people, if possible, to not use text. So, because if you use text, then it requires language. Now, we're not saying that you need to appeal to a universal audience, but if you don't use text in your thumbnails, then they're just more easy to decode, irrespective of what language you speak. It's just a visual medium that's more instinctive. Dan, have you figured anything out really here?
I want to say they're doing, like, I think the keyword mouse and ASMR thing, I think they're doing different challenges and or concepts. So like the ASMR is probably pointing to the fact that like it's a mechanical keyboard, so you can kind of hear it in the background. And then I'm seeing some bed wars and stuff. So I think they are just trying different things. They are focused on Minecraft and they're meeting some pretty decent views here.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, good subscriber numbers. I think they said they were monetized, which is great. So the thumbnails are really sharp. We don't know what the concept of the videos are exactly, but a lot of the stuff you're doing is working. It's just hard to give advice like where do we go from here, because I just don't know what you're currently doing thanks to me not knowing the language.
I think the thumbnails could probably be a little tighter. As we say, irrespective of the language barrier, I think some of them do have a bit too much text, or the text, even for a native reader, is likely difficult to read, because this one, for example, fluorescent orange, that's in English, and I couldn't even read that text there. So maybe a few too many elements, but generally speaking, solid community, solid audience. This is probably one of those examples where, because they're speaking in a native language, there's actually less competition, so they're able to build an audience quicker. That the ceiling of the audience might be smaller, but that's not necessarily a bad thing if you can be an authority in that space.
I will say I think something that I don't like, and I know you guys said that they're doing certain things that are working for them, but what I don't like is the mixture of the languages. You got thumbnails that are part English, part whatever the language is. I can't tell what it is at this point, but that confuses the viewer, because the viewer doesn't know, are they going to get English? Are they going to get this other language? Like, you need to stick to one language, in my opinion. Just stick to one language and then do things in that language. If you can't speak a second language and you want to do content in that second language, do that on a separate channel. Don't try to mix the language, because then you potentially could confuse people.
It is tricky, isn't it? Because like I think sometimes in certain regions, countries, there can be a mix of languages. So like certainly in India, like Hindi or Urdu and English can be mixed very frequently. But as you rightly point out in this one, Viper, this is 100% English in terms of the thumbnail design and title. And that's a bit curious to us why that might be. The video maybe performed a little less than all of the others as well. So that might be another indicator that trying to find the right use of the language in the packaging for the channel.
Yeah, there may not be a word for bed wars in their language, but definitely the full English one is like, oh, your other viewers who don't speak English might be a little confused by that.
Okie dokie. Let's pick another long form. Is this long form? Long form non-gaming channel. And they have decided not to pay any attention to their branding in terms of a channel banner and a channel name, because they're called What's My Brand 211. And they have lots and lots of calming, relaxing, probably sound sensitive content. 2 fires in 2 hours, 8 fires of fire crackling, 8 hours of fire crackling, white noise for 3 hours. Let's just be honest about this. It's not the first time this channel has been done on YouTube.
No.
Oh, they're 6 days old as well. So that is interesting. And I've produced about 20 videos in that time, maybe more. No shorts.
The about section made it clear they're pretty excited about getting some subscribers. How often does that subscribe call to action pop up when people are trying to relax?
Isn't it hilarious that Google decides to choose the highlight of a video as a call to action, which is probably so in opposition of what the content is supposed to be about. But I don't know where that is.
That's funny.
Yeah, if that pops up frequently too, and it looks like it does, it's really tough for people to relax. You know, what if they put this on their TV and they just want to have it like on?
Yeah.
You got to think about the audience with stuff like this, but ultimately this is a really tough space to break into, like the calming, relaxing, so on and so forth kind of content. I think this is a creator who just kind of needs to figure out what do you want to do on YouTube? What is it you want to do? Because
that's my question, Dan. What is the ultimate objective of this particular person? Because the content doesn't really lend itself to growing per se on YouTube, like in the traditional sense anyway. So what do you want to do?
Yeah. I would encourage them to this sounds harsh, but maybe go back to the drawing board a little bit. Because this is a really tough space to break into, and given the titles I'm seeing and the about section, things like that, I just don't feel like maybe they even want to make this kind of content. There was one, like, I don't know what to do anymore. That video there, it's kind of like, I don't know if they really like making this kind of content.
This almost feels like a troll video for
it feels like a troll
channel audience.
What is really going on?
Yeah. I think this is just to get us like, oh yeah.
I don't know what to do anymore. I'm going to give you a 10-second intro and then some god-awful sound.
That is interesting.
I think we can, in the words of Alexei from last week, I think we can move on.
we need to get a soundbite of Alexei saying that and then just play it. I feel as if we're being a bit dismissive of his channel, but you are right. This is a channel that doesn't look new. I do worry about repetitious reused content, if it's going to be monetizable. Maybe back to the drawing board, potentially for this channel. Right, we're going to do another channel here. And then we may need to do some more super chats, even though nobody wants us to do super chats. Right, 390 will do. Sorry, not 290. 390. And this channel calls themselves Spreekatze, I think. And they're guides and tutorials on P12S. Anyone know what P12S is? I've never come across this game before, which I guess is a good thing if there's an audience playing this game.
Can we go to their about page? Oh, never mind. Okay, I'm lost.
I don't know what the game or games are, except the Final Fantasy one. I can understand that one. I would avoid templatized thumbnails, though. That's gonna be my advice for everybody. These types of thumbnails, like you got to look at the people who are making guides. When you do these split screen thumbnails, and one side just basically like just has some text, and the other side has an image that's really hard to make out. What is it that you're trying to teach people how to do in your guide? And like try and focus on that, communicate that message with like an interesting thumbnail. Like these thumbnails are really not going to stand out to someone who's just kind of scrolling through YouTube. That's going to be my advice. That said, look, the views are pretty decent here, and it looks like maybe you're giving people a guide to a game, and not a lot of people have covered it. That doesn't mean like the thumbnails couldn't stand to be improved, but that's cool to see that like they have like several hundred views on these.
I would say in their defense, Dan, they're a new channel, so at least they're trying to create some sort of workflow to their content. So I'm not going to beat them up too much for templatized thumbnails, but I think you are right. It needs to say more than game, screenshot, and especially Savage Guide, because that's giving me a nervous twitch just seeing that on a thumbnail. But German gamer with guides, again, native language audience, when they create content, they're getting views. But I would argue again, as a gaming channel, especially tutorials, when I think you can create tutorials on a fairly consistent production workflow basis. I've had a big break. I created a couple of videos a few months ago and then a 3-month break. So again, commitment to consistency. Would it be fair, Dan and Viper, to say I would like to see at least 1 video a week from this channel until the end of the year, which is about 10 videos?
I think that's fair.
I would say that's a fair ask.
Yeah.
Personally.
This comment here says that Final Fantasy video is about a particular raid in Final Fantasy, which I did not know because I don't really play that. But there are a lot of probably guides out there of people like doing that raid, maybe just not in your language. So that is one direction you could look at if you were looking to take our advice, change your thumbnails and titles a bit. But it's a good start. I just, as soon as I saw the template, I'm like, ooh, hopefully we can get out of using those forever.
The other thing is that they're putting the language of the video in the title. Why are you doing that? I don't understand why they're doing that when YouTube will show it to the people that need to see it in that language. Like, YouTube will take care of that for you. You don't need to do that.
You can hear that music, folks.
Something they could test.
Maybe. You can hear that music, which only means one thing. We've got 24 super chats to get through.
Oh boy. Okay.
So let's just try and get through them rapid fire. Coinfish Gaming, what retro collection you building, Dan? SNES? Forever.
I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. I'm gonna get some GameCube stuff, and I'm thinking maybe SNES because I do regret getting rid of my SNES. So yeah, it's mostly Nintendo. Like when I think retro, I always think Nintendo. So I'm somewhere in there.
There's a question for the chat. Do you pronounce it SNES or SNES or Super Nintendo? Because I always used to say SNES. Secret of Mana, Dan. Secret of Mana, Dan. If you decide to go for a SNES, best SNES game of all time. VR Spaceman. Thank you, vidIQ. V streams helped a lot with my channel. You know it.
Nice.
You know it.
Love it.
Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm pressing buttons. Naomi Mike. No Mike 254 with the 100 Kez currency. Awesome. Thank you. Another person just saying we've helped them with their coding channel. We tend to audit at least 1 coding channel a month, I would say. So glad that we could help you there. Oh, now we've got personal thanks. Here we go, Dan. Yeah. Time to build up your ego. Cake Ninja Gaming. I want to thank you, Dan, for reviewing my channel last week. Oh, I wasn't involved at all in this one. I fixed up the new content and have gone from 100 views to 1,000 views daily in a week. Dan, you have 10x the channel in 1 week. Let's just take all of the applause for you.
I looked.
These are all sound effects for Dan.
We don't look at channels based on super chats, but I did pull it up in the background. Rob. And I'm really impressed. They really did turn around their views. We're talking 2 weeks ago, they were getting 32, 38 views a video. Their latest video has 670 views. The one before that, 956 views. They really turned it around. Congrats.
I've got an idea for a video, Dan.
That's pretty awesome.
How to 10x a gaming channel. Let's get in touch with this person.
Yeah, let's
find out their story. Ooh. Next question. Gaming Hog Discoveries. Well, let's throw this one to Dan now since he knows what he's talking about. How can I make a good Minecraft Let's Play channel?
Don't do Minecraft episode whatever. Like, do something unique. And I know that's hard and it's a big ask, but if you sit down and plan out like a series of videos, I want your series to have a definitive end point based on a challenge. You're going to try and survive 100 days, or you're going to try and beat a certain boss, or whatever it might be. And that value in the title and thumbnail of those videos lets you could create a video with the same exact title over and over and over again and just have the day number change, right? If you're doing like 100 days, it could be day 1 of beating the Ender Dragon in 100 days. That sounds very boring, but so do something more interesting than that. And then every thumbnail, let it tell a little story, right? Change your thumbnails. You can be repetitious with your title if your thumbnails can back up your story. Like, I've seen channels use the strategy. I've seen it work very, very well. I've seen those videos turn into big compilations like I talked about earlier. But yes, do more than just play Minecraft. I want you to play Minecraft with a purpose. I want you to play Minecraft in a way that people aren't currently playing it when you just think Minecraft Let's Play. I want you to take it and just crank it up a notch.
Brilliant answer, Dan. You need to condense that for any more questions because we're running out of time. That's the secret sound effect for Super SS2 becoming a new member. We've got a super chat here from Yesent Animations. Is that how you pronounce it? I've got no idea. We want to give this person their special own sound effects. I think Old Man Gib is always going to get that sound effect. Hey, y'all, don't be a Mr. Vic. I don't understand what that means. Streaming someone's live while they are live. It's a scumbag move. Don't be that creator. I don't know what they're talking about.
I don't think they're talking
PSA
to us.
of some kind.
I don't think he's talking to us.
Is Mr. Vic restreaming our live stream? I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for the super chat, Mr. Not Mr. Vic, Old Man Gib. Yesent Animations. I think they realized that they needed to spend more money to actually type in a message there. Does using the promotions beta to see the algorithm of impressions to get an audience fit make sense? I did that. I'm not sure anymore. Dan, we covered this about 20 minutes ago, but
yeah, it
to
doesn't.
repeat. No.
As far as we can tell, it does not do that.
Yeah, I think there's a key word in this promotions tab, and that is beta. And it seems to operate very much like a beta piece of software in that it sometimes doesn't work as intended. Anyway, more thoughts on that maybe in a future video at some point. Twilight Fairy X. How long should you wait before changing titles, thumbnails on a video if you think it's not performing well?
We all might have different opinions on this, but I would say don't even wait that long. I would say within the first hour, if your video is not performing the way it normally would, then you can do it then.
Here at vidIQ, we panic after the first 30 minutes. So if it's like 8, 9, 10 of 10, and we think it should be performing better at that point in time, then we will start to mess around with a title and thumbnail. Is that good for mental health? I don't know, but that's what we do.
If you are getting some like watch time and average view duration is pretty good, but the title thumbnail isn't super good, maybe it's appealing to some new people, maybe you wait. So there's a lot of different things to think about. Also, I'll be right back.
All right. Bye, Dan. Next question. Do you, will live streaming help in the growth of a channel which is about AI?
Live stream will help in the growth of any channel.
Yeah, live stream will help grow any channel as far as I'm concerned, Viper. And yeah, you agree with me on this. I guess if the content is AI in itself, it's an AI live stream, that might be more of a challenge because is AI good at keeping the audience's attention right now? Not so sure. It can kind of be used as a tool to help a creator. But if you feel as if you have something unique and valuable that can engage your audience like we do with these live streams with your audience, then I would say experiment. The guarantee is your first live stream is always going to be a technical disaster. So just get it out of the way, in my opinion, if you want to test out live streaming. Next super chat comes from Joey Underwood, and they got into YPP Lite last week. If you don't know what that means, I dubbed 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours of watch time as the light edition of YPP because you don't get an ad revenue, but you do get super chat, super thanks, and all of that good stuff. Congratulations to you, Joey. Cafe Naud. Hi, if my channel is in French, should I put English subtitles myself on it or let YouTube do it? I'm guessing I'd reach more people in English.
Do not let YouTube do it. You do it yourself. No. Don't let YouTube do it. Don't do it. Do that yourself.
I think YouTube are gonna. You were at this thing recently, Viper, in New York, where YouTube announced some more translation tools.
Yeah, so
are they going to help?
This should help. YouTube is going to introduce AI language dubbing at some point in the future, so that might help a little bit. But I'm always leery of YouTube and how they auto capture things, so I would say do it yourself just to be safe.
Alrighty. Next one here comes from Mary Lux. YouTube recommends videos based on words on thumbnail and title. It's so more nuanced than that. Like YouTube brings in many signals. Like I think it makes sense to have titles that can be related to your audience, using keywords in your titles, especially for search-driven content, but just plugging in keywords for the sake of it being included in a thumbnail and a title, that's the attitude of trying to appeal to an algorithm as opposed to an audience. So
what does your audience what Rob wants to say is that YouTube is going to recommend your video based on how the audience responds, like how long are they watching, are they sharing it, different things like that. Audience satisfaction, because sometimes at the end of you watching a YouTube video, they'll give out those surveys where you satisfied, and those are some of the factors that they take when they are trying to decide how to recommend your video. So it's more about how the audience is responding, not about any keyword.
I don't understand. Do we have a StreamYard glitch? Because we're just stuck on 21 super chats. Like, I haven't been able to shift this number the entire live stream.
No, it must be.
I'm starting to panic. Yes. Wrong sound effects. Julian Melnick. I have a console gaming focused channel geared towards dads like me. I have a podcast with another dad gamer. Should it be on the main channel or on its own? We are wrestling with that question ourselves.
Yeah, it's hard to say. A lot of channels have, two. In our space, people have a couple channels, a podcast channel and a main channel. So it kind of depends. No harm in trying. If you're making both types of content anyway, and you don't want to muddy the water.
I'm just going to move on as quick as I can because I've got to try and get through all these super chats. Goofy Shark Games. My channel has 500,000 views, but I've only gained 450 subscribers. Is that a typical ratio? It's not untypical for a shorts channel, especially. And generally speaking, don't worry about the subscribers. They'll take care of themselves.
Yeah.
What's more important is if 50,000 of those viewers come back to watch more of your content, that's what you really want to get excited about, because that's where you're going to be building your community. All right, so I'm just going to throw this one to you, Viper. So like we'll go in rotation. You answer this one and so on and so forth. Okay. So Viper, I have hit an incline doing VlogTuber uploading every day and will do the same in December. Is this going to hurt my channel?
Vlogtober. Sorry, Dan. I don't know if it's going to hurt your analytics per se, but I mean, if that's not something that you do normally, I don't know if I would recommend doing it, making it a thing. Like to do it once a year or whatever, that's fine. But you say you're going to do it again in December, probably don't want to do that too often. But I don't think it's going to hurt your analytics too much. No.
See how cover goes.
Next question, because we still have 22 super chats. Hey, this is the channel we just reviewed. Thanks for your time. I was doing dual cam reactions for more pattern interrupts. I noticed big channels are doing it. I'm scared people are going to say all I did was copy them. Should I stop?
Is this me?
Yes.
If you're doing something other people are doing, you're adding your own take to it. No, don't ever. Okay, big thing here. Don't ever worry about, other people are doing it first. Everyone's doing everything everyone's done in the past. Like, don't worry about that. You're putting your own spin on it. That's why people watch you.
Flameboy with a super sticker. Well, thank you very, very much. FiLo Rogue, I asked a question before this review. Thank you. Okay, cool. Sorry, we're going to just move on and answer another question. Lee Salon, the discussion salon. So how do I make my channel grow? It is a discussion channel and I also post inspiration and motivational shorts. I'm wondering how to make this grow. So I think the problem already there is sounds like you have 3 different silos of content. And I'm not sure if that's going to necessarily work, at least with a smaller channel. So you may need to pivot into either being a discussion channel, motivational shorts. That sounds like it's been done to death by many, many channels, and also inspiration. So I would think the discussion is probably going to add something that's most unique to your channel, but it's probably going to be the hardest thing to grow, but has the potential to build a bigger audience in that sense. Jerin Khan Lifestyle. Thank you for the 990 of whatever currency that is. Gaming exploits. I updated my banner as suggested last stream. Dan, ring any bells?
We did talk about banners quite a bit, so yeah, awesome. Best of luck.
I think Jerry Khan Lifestyle is trying to figure out how much they have to super chat in order to ask a question, because that's another random amount. Harvest of Sorrow. Thank you, boys. My shorts have 20,000 views this week.
Nice.
It sounds like it was an amazing live stream where all you did was just help people, Dan. Incredible.
That's
incredible.
what we do.
Amazing stuff. Try not to break anything. What's a creative way to expand your niche audience?
The Viper's turn?
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things where you need to try to figure out how to go outside the box. What's something that you could do that somebody else in your niche isn't doing? Like, what are the opportunities there that of things that could be done, or maybe stuff that's not being addressed in your niche? That's the way to expand it. Like, there's a lot of stuff that went on that the bigger creators in your niche can't cover, so you can step in and cover it.
So much media. Why is it so hard to get an audit? You're thinking about this live stream in the wrong way.
Yes.
Every single channel we audit, we are auditing your channel in a sense. And every single super chat we answer, we are answering everybody's questions. It's not just about you. If you get audited on this channel, you're not going to get tons of viewers and subscribers from it. So don't think of it as like a shout out opportunity. We've just seen tons of comments from people who have grown their channels and they may not have even been audited. So try to think about that. I'm getting a bit stressed here because we've still got lots of super chats and we've got 30 minutes to go. Thigh maths, pie maths. Any advice on making intros to video essays?
Don't overdo the intros. I would start with a good solid hook. Never do like a branded music with sound effects and visuals intro. Those are so outdated. Just give me like a good taste of the story to come. Watch some video essays, see how they do it. I'm talking the biggest channels, so you can try and like mimic them. They've set the bar really, really high. That's my advice.
Rob, what's mental health?
Oh,
I don't know if that's a troll question from EV Pulse. Is a regular here.
Yeah.
Just think of it this way. The last 20 minutes is nothing to do with mental health. This is just getting through all of the questions as quickly as we can because we want to address everyone who's done a super chat. Lovely Scrubbly. Lovely Scrubby. I went from 100 watch hours to 900 watch hours in just 4 weeks gaming. Yes, live streaming is sick.
Nice. Congrats.
Nice. Awesome. Howling Wolf Den. I play Baldur's Gate 3, Star Wars The Old Republic, Warhammer 3. My views are all over the place. I'm not sure why.
I mean, those are 3 different games, right? That's why your views are all over the place.
Yeah.
I do think they've answered their own question there. Whichever game is getting the most views, start there.
Yep.
Try not to break anything. Do video sponsors affect views counted towards becoming a YouTube partner? Any advice dealing with video sponsors?
No, they don't count for anything.
People may skip over the sponsored segment, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to impact your analytics.
Not at all.
If you're already getting sponsors, that's great. I think that's good.
And Viper, one piece of advice for dealing with sponsors?
Be authentic. Try not to let the sponsors dictate too much how your video goes as far as how you plan it things. Make sure you're using your own authentic voice, and the rest will take care of itself.
Okay, here's a question from Lemons Gaming. After filling the vidIQ form for maybe 10 times, is there any way to hack the vidIQ algorithm so that I finally get my channel view? So we give you different ways to get audited. So we've had the Creator of the Month in Discord. We've had the Facebook competition that we also had. Viper sometimes does thumbnail audits on Twitter and we get submissions through there. So become part of the whole vidIQ social media family and presence, and you will find other ways to hack the so-called getting chosen audit algorithm.
Back.
Previous, yes. All right, it was super sarcasm. It's easy to get obsessed and it's good to take a step back. Sometimes you are absolutely right. Thank you, EV Pulse. Funny Jacks 2X with the super chat there. How are we doing, Dan? We're getting through that. We're getting through it.
We have 10 minutes.
The next one is, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Eddie. Hi, followed your advice and started fixing some aspects like my thumbs and shorts. Question, why do some of my shorts have view spikes 50 to 200? We made a video about this about a month ago, like why do views tank on shorts? Might be worth watching that one as a explanation. Spectre19, how often should I ask viewers to subscribe? I would say once after something delivered of value. But Viper's going to... I know what Viper's going to say here. Go on,
One.
Viper. You're going to...
No, I'm agree with you. One time. That's it.
Oh, I thought you were going to say never.
Never.
Because some people suggested that at VidSummit. Just don't bother asking.
Yeah, just don't ask.
We have a new member. Only sad news, though. Did you AI? That's your special sound effect for this week. And Action Fantastic with 10, I'm going to say Danish kroner. Perhaps, I could be wrong. We've also got another super chat here from Swally with 20 of that currency. Is that rupees, Indian rupees? I don't know. I apologize if I can't spot currencies. Funny J2X. All right, I think they've now sent enough of money to ask a question. I got a comedy skit channel. I'm having trouble targeting my target audience, which is 18 to 24s. How do I target it?
I just put out a tweet about this today. look at your comment section of your video. Also, in your YouTube analytics, there's an audience section where you can find out what your audience is watching. You can find out who they're watching, different things like that. Also, you can use your community tab to figure out what they're into. So there are multiple ways that you can find out what your target audience is into.
This one is a very easy one to answer. Redbeard Flynn, if you could only go to one conference to learn about YouTube, which would you suggest as a new YouTuber?
Vid Summit, hands down.
Right answer. It is September. It's the day after Labor Day next year, isn't it? September the 5th or something.
3rd to the 5th.
And it is in the same place, Irving, Texas, which is essentially Dallas. Kyle Rayner reviews. What do you think of channel intros on every video? I mean, opening. Does it worth having one? Is it worth having an outro?
I hate them.
No.
Hate them.
Yeah.
They're awful. They're just terrible. They're distracting. They're the invitation for people to click off the video. I don't like them. There's some actually pretty cool ones, but for the most part, I don't like them. And outros should be you pointing to another video. Hey, watch this video next for a reason, because that's going to start a watch session. That's going to keep people on your channel.
That is not to say the beginning of a video is not very important. It is.
Right.
But it needs to be a hook rather than an intro. So research YouTube video hooks. You'll find tons of stuff. And that's it. We've got through all of them, right? Oh, goodness. That was amazing.
Rob, I have a question for you.
We are so good at this. What's the question, Viper?
How often did you get recognized in Texas?
So I think I would say conservatively, I shook the hands of maybe 50 people, maybe had 30 selfies and probably 25, like 5 to 10 minute conversations.
Nice.
But I'm being conservative. I could be totally underestimating there because I was busy. I was talking to a lot of people.
It seemed like every time I thought you were taking a picture or talking to somebody else. So you were busy.
Yeah, that was basically it. It's these glasses that really do, like, you know, with your glasses, Viper, like people just recognize the props that you're wearing more than anything else. I think we've got time to squeeze in one more. I'm going to say that because we have to disappear very, very soon. But we're going to do one more channel audit just to see who hacked the form algorithm and got chosen. Oh, hello. This could be right down Viper and my street here. Dan, you might could maybe take off 5 minutes early. Main event Frow. This is a wrestling channel that is looking at things that are happening in the wrestling world right now. So predictions, stories, having interviews. Okay. What do we think to this one, Viper?
I think the thumbnails need a lot of work.
I agree. The thumbnail game, especially in wrestling, is top notch.
Gotta be. Yep.
And first of all, it's the text. Very difficult to read on a lot of these. For example, we have this classic. If you see red text in a thumbnail, typically that's a red flag. I can't read that at all.
Can't read that either. No.
So thumbnails we would start with, and then what you tend to be doing is predictions to matches on pay-per-views. I don't know if that's just a topic that's just covered by many other channels. Maybe instead of doing lots of short videos, like the predictions are like 2 minutes long, and I would assume these are all of the matches at a pay-per-view. Maybe it's better to do a 10 to 12 minute prediction on all of the matches in a longer form video. Try experimenting with that.
Yeah.
And then maybe one final piece of advice from you, Viper, if you can think of anything.
I would say to find a way to insert your opinion more in these titles and thumbnails. Again, there's a lot of creators out there doing wrestling content. What makes you stand out?
You're right. They are just very, I guess, functional. Like wrestler versus wrestler, reaction at a pay-per-view. Yeah. We'll give a final word to Dan, just like as an outsider of wrestling.
Rate the wrestlers. Maybe you could do a tier list. Maybe you could do a weekly podcast where you have like the people who are going to be wrestling that week, and you're like placing not bets, but like you're just kind of putting points on each one. Like I think this one's been doing really well lately, so 10 points, and I think they're going to do great. You know, 5 points here, they're bad. It can be fun.
All right, that brings to an end an action-packed live stream. We are having to end a little bit early because we're having a competition at vidIQ. We're going to play some games, and that starts in about 5 minutes. We're not live streaming it or anything, so sorry, you can't watch. I predict Dan is going to be the winner of what we are playing. Viper, pleasure having you on board. Anything you would like to share with the vidIQ Nation?
I appreciate those of y'all who were at Bitham who came up and said hi and appreciated what we do here. So I definitely thank you for coming up and yeah, I appreciate you all rocking with us and continue to come and support and we will support you the best way we can. So thank you all for being supportive.
Dan, anything you've got to share with our nation?
Thanks for being here last week and not at Vid Summit.
Awesome, awesome. And don't forget, folks, we have that brand new monetization tool. So do check it out by downloading the vidIQ Chrome or Firefox extension. We will see you next week.